Hey, this is a Saber order, and I'm finally getting to review this Neopixel Darksaber I got from Ally Sabers. So here's the hilt up close, I'll show real quick. It's very screen accurate with the glossy top. And the emitter window, which actually shows the blade when it's ignited through. You have your bottom with the little LEDs. I'll go and activate it and show you. And you can also use gesture controls to activate and deactivate. This also comes with a Xenopixel core, which costs about $350. Like $100 cheaper than Profi, and it does just as much. Has your activation and auxiliary button right here, and over towards the pommel you get your speakers that go through these little circles, and your belt clip. The hilt obviously comes with what you're really looking for, is this Neopixel Darksaber blade. It's probably about like 32 inches, though obviously this bit is within the emitter. So it's pretty standard length for a lightsaber, but it is a heavier blade, so you know, it's going to feel like you have a much bigger or at least longer blade coming out of your saber. To install it, you just get your saber and then you're going to slide it in where the blade's facing away from this bit that juts out of the emitter. And then you can go and screw it in from these two little pieces with the provided Allen wrench. This lightsaber and all those accessories come in the standard replica Neopixel carrying case that Ally Saber provides. Here's the case right here. It's actually pretty high quality and has nice little foam protecting interior to obviously protect it from the shipping. And if you wanted to use this to transport somewhere. It also comes with an acrylic stand, which is right here. It's just 3 pieces. It just sits together and it displays the saber really nice. Here's a Legacy Saber. You know, it really just sits on top perfectly fine. And I wanted to compare these two in size. So a Disney Saber, it's going to be, let's see, a little smaller than the Darksaber. I think it's a little taller. And surprisingly, this is heavier, which, you know, I'd say is surprising. It's just because Disney really makes chunky, heavy sabers. But the difference is this really has a high quality build. As you can see, it's full metal. It doesn't feel cheap. And I'm a big fan of it. Overall, for $350, you're getting a ton of accessories, a high quality saber. I'm going to go ahead and get into all the technical stuff with this hilt and all the fonts. Alright, so here's the hilt up close with the blade in. All you just use is one of these tools that come with it. And screw it in from both of these sides. You want to make sure it's very secure, but you don't want to dig into the blade and you know, screw it in too much to where it digs into the blade too much. So here's your activation and auxiliary button. That's how you do blast art effect and activate it. But you can also just use gesture control. So if I twist it to the right, the blade activates. It's quite bright. This room has full lighting on, lights on, window open, and you can still see it. It's not just like a faded mess like some of the Disney Sabers or Hasbro Sabers. So I'll demonstrate blaster effects. You can also hold the button down and get a clash effect. And that's going to be a holding clash effect until you let go. Here's the smooth swing being demonstrated. Very sensitive. Xenopixel is really to the level of Profi at this point, and that's why I think it's much worth it. Overall, very solid piece, very accurate, and has very crisp audio. I'm going to go ahead and do a demonstration of all the fonts and show all the capabilities of this board. Alright, now we're in a dark room. I can go ahead and ignite this, get the full potential of this blade. It's a super bright blade. It blows every non-Neopixel blade out of the water. It might be a little dimmer than a normal Neopixel, and that's just because there's less LEDs in it. It has the black strip in the middle. But yet again, a very nice blade. This is the standard Neopixel Darksaber blade you're going to find on a ton of Darksabers. The blade actually goes into the little kind of emitter window, so you can see part of the blade through that. That will display any blade effects or the progressive ignition, as you can see through here. And to ignite it, you can either press the button, or you can twist it to your right, which is a little gesture control. Twisting it to the left is how you change fonts. The Saber also has 3 different audio settings. There's mute, and that's igniting it, makes no noise. There's volume high, which I think is way too high. I mean, it might not show on camera, but here it is.
Volume high.
It is so hard to hear at all when you do this. It's very immersive, I guess, but I think volume low is definitely the best way to go. And I think volume low is honestly too high. And with the button, if you hold it down for another second, that's how you change the blade styles. And if you hold it down for a second and a half, 2 seconds, that's how you change the ignition. That stuff you have to mess with to get the timings right, but after like 5 minutes, you know, you can customize pretty much all your styles. With the Saber itself, the blade is actually really heavy, and the hilt, it is kind of a unique grip. It's a wider saber with an oval grip, so with the heavy blade and all that said, it really feels like a broadsword, a big bulky kind of sword that requires, you know, a little bit more strength to wield and less precision. But again, it feels really nice, and honestly, if a blade looks like this, you would think kind of is wielded like that. The audio and the smooth swing is super crisp. Xenopixel is just as good as Profi with all that. Profi's like $100 more, a little bit more customizable and slightly better, but I'd 1000% go with Xenopixel. You're getting just as good for like $100 less. Sounds really good, looks really good. I'll show you all the fonts and blade ignitions. So when the saber's off, you can twist it left.
The assassin.
There you go, it changes the font. And here we go, we have a cracked blade font. All the blade capabilities and everything is the same as a normal Neopixel. Activate, deactivate it, twisting it to the right. Hold the button down for 2 seconds.
Pulse.
You can get the pulse blade, as you can see on screen. That's very accurate, I'd say. It's probably the best looking blade effect. It's standard, but it, I don't know, adds a little bit more to it. It's not just a still blade.
Flash blade.
You can get the flash blade. This is more of kind of like a strobe light kind of blade. I don't really care for this effect. Next one, I think there's a...
Fire blade.
There we go, fire blade. Here we go. This is more of like the Kylo Ren unstable ignition. It's kind of weird on a Darksaber blade. I know it looks super different, but you can get so many unique effects. And with like the 6 or so blade ignitions and the like 30 fonts you got in the saber, you have like thousands and thousands of different combinations you can make with your saber. I'll go through a few more fonts.
The dark.
See, we get a, oh, here's another use of the unstable.
The sun.
Get a Luke Skywalker font. Got all of these colors and styles, look so crisp on this blade. It looks very nice. Sounds very nice. I can change the ignition on this. So here's the ignition effect. So if you hold it down for a couple seconds.
Unstable.
Well, that's actually the blade style.
Broken ignition.
Here we go, here's an ignition. So here's the broken one. This one's pretty unique, but I couldn't see myself using. And now I got a strobe light on this one. This is actually a pretty sick font, but it definitely messes with your eyes.
Rainbow blade.
There's a rainbow blade. This one's a very fun blade. I think it comes on a couple fonts. There's a candy blade and a rainbow blade. It's not one you're really necessarily ever going to use. Obviously, there's no character with this, but it is very fun, and pretty much every Neopixel has this. So right here, yeah, it's a stack ignition. Just give you some font. You can do the blaster effects. You can do flash on flash. And if you wanted to change the color, you're just going to hold the button and twist it. And you can change the color. You can do, like, yeah, literally like any color. So this is the warp ignition with a nice little strobe light effect. It's honestly really like annoying to look at. It kind of hurts your eyes, but it is a pretty cool effect. I don't know how well it looks on camera, but it does look like it's kind of on a different frame rate and it's like skipping around. This one is unnecessarily long, the photon ignition. It's probably the coolest animation, but I just can imagine waiting like 5 seconds just for your blade to turn on. Alright, so here's the fire blade, more of the unstable. It looks weird on a color like this, but when you use like red or orange or yellow, it really does look like a more flame blade that's unstable. There's so much you can do with these effects, but I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate some of the fonts.
The champion. The Dark Lord revisited. The learner. The second. The teacher. Whispers of power. Moonfield. The chosen. New Horizon.
Overall though, this saber is a very nice saber. $350, you're getting all the accessories you'll need. Very high quality Neopixel blade. I mean, look at this thing, it's super bright, and I mean, I'm in broad daylight. My window is right here, full sun going through, and you're getting a super nice hilt. This, saber wields very fine, for what it is. But you're getting really high quality, a nice carrying case, acrylic stand, everything you're going to need. And with the Xenopixel installation, you're getting all the features you're going to need in a saber ever, really. For the price, you're getting an incredible Neopixel saber, I mean, just for any replica saber, but specifically this Darksaber, I think is the best Neopixel Darksaber you can find on the market. I'm sure you might be able to find like a Corbant $1,000 one, but this hilt is so nice. It's much better than what Black Series or the Elite or Force Effects or the Disney line has ever been able to produce. You're getting all the features with the technology, but you're also getting a screen accurate hilt to the TV show. I would go ahead and give the Saber a 10 out of 10. It really is my favorite lightsaber. It might not be my favorite to wield or spin around and mess with, just because it's just not as practical as like a smaller hilt with a standard circular blade. But this thing's very fun to mess with, looks great on display, and I highly recommend it. Well, I hope you enjoyed, especially if you made it this far in the review. If you wanted to leave a comment, had any question, you can go and leave it in our comments. YouTube has been kind of disabling those every once in a while, so we'll have a Twitter and TikTok linked in our description and the About section of our channel if you want to leave a reply there. We'll 100% respond to it. We love the feedback. Anyways, I appreciate everyone for watching. Go check out our other videos. I have a Luke Neopixel lightsaber review coming in the next week. Peace.